Okay, thanks to everyone that joined. Again, my name is Mohammed Bashir, Specification Account Manager at ATS. Today we have Manam Mohammed from RWC. This presentation will be recorded, so I think we'll give it 1 more minute for everyone to join. And then anybody that joins late, they'll have the recording sent to them after the presentation ends as well. All right, in the interest of time, we will start now. Again, my name is Mohammed Bashir, Specification Account Manager here at ATS Spec Solutions. As you know, we have a variety of different manufacturers that we provide specification solutions for. So today we have Manam Mohammed from RWC, the manufacturer that we work with for pipe support, fire stop solutions. With that being said, I'll introduce Manam Mohammed from RWC. You can go ahead, and toward the end of the presentation, I will be giving a demo on our tool. If you have any questions during the presentations, let us know. You can always use the chat option to ask your questions, and I'll make sure to relay them to Manam. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mohammed. Welcome, everyone. As Mohammed said, my name is Manan Mohammed. I'm the Engineering Director for RWC Canada. Just for the benefit of those who are meeting me for the first time and who don't know RWC, we'll just start off quickly with a very brief introduction on RWC, and then we'll dive right into engineered solutions that we offer for DWE systems and the place in the National Building Code. I picked up the 2020 version that has just been released. I know some of the provinces have still not adopted it. Alberta was the first province to jump in and adopt it in its entirety. But I just thought this might be the best for everybody because it's coming. As you may all know that the harmonization efforts are in the fastest mode. Many provinces will be adopting the national model codes mainly in its entirety with some deviations. But as I said, Alberta was the one to adopt it quickly without any variations. And then finally, once we are done, I'll hand you back over to Mo for a quick demo on the ATS spec tool. Many of you know us through our brands. Cash Acme, ShuckBite, HoldRite, and John Guest are some of the very popular names in North America. We are a global company with our global headquarters in Atlanta. One thing I love talking about, although you can see the details on the screen, is the innovation centers. We have 5 of them, 3 of which are in North America. And through these centers, we are able to bring engineered solutions to your table. We cater to all applications, whether it's single or multifamily, residential, commercial, institution. We are there both in new as well as retrofit applications. So that was very briefly about us. So let's dive into the engineered solutions for DWE systems. So we do over 300, we do over 300 solutions for all types of piping, all types of applications. I thought today we'll just focus on DWE because this is an area in itself. And starting off with mechanical joints, this is actually one of my favorite topics, and plus restraints. All right, so based on in my experience, there are 2 widely used pipe materials for DWE, drain, waste, and vent. that are used widely in Canada for multi-family applications. We are not talking about single family because the DWE there is pretty straightforward. We're talking about complex DWE systems in high-rise, in mid-rise, in industrial establishments, and so on. So cast iron and XFR are the two that I've mainly come across the board. But there's one challenge that the engineers need to be aware of while designing DWE systems for high buildings. Especially in rainwater leaders, when there is heavy rainfall, the water is mixed with air and it's coming down the pipe with huge velocity. When it takes a turn, this high velocity, the water that's coming down in high velocity now meets a low velocity zone. And this is where something called hydraulic jump is experienced. So due to this phenomena, the pipe in the horizontal section, the water in the horizontal section of the pipe can experience a very high thrust force. And this impact is so high that it could separate the mechanical joints. That's why, three large bodies, or if you look on my slides, CISPI, which is Cast Iron Pipe Soil Institute, recommends that horizontal pipe and fittings 5-inch and above should be suitably restrained. BIVI, which is another large manufacturer of cast iron pipe, resonates the language in the literature. The standard for mechanical complaints, the CSAB 602 for drain, waste, and vent, also recommends bracing and restraints to prevent horizontal movement caused due to hydraulic jump. The National Plumbing Code 2020 has a lot of verbiage, and I'm going to show that to you in a minute. But let's show you what happens when these connections separate. It only takes minutes before the whole area can be flooded. So looking at the language in National Plumbing Code 2020, this is addressed in two areas. First of all, the article 2.3.2.6 talks about mechanical joints, that mechanical joints shall be made with compounded elastomeric rings that are held in compression by stainless steel or cast iron clamps, or groove and should type mechanical coupling. So that's one area talking about the joints. And then in the annexure, it talks about restraining them. Now, one thing it doesn't do, and this is where the problem is, all the bodies, including the National Plumbing Code, they're recommending use of suitable restraints, but it's entirely left to the mechanical engineer to design the system and specify the use of restraints, because these bodies say that each application is different. We don't know what the application entails, and the engineer is best left to make that determination as to where the restraints should go. So the onus is now on your shoulders to properly look at the design and see if there is a possibility of separation, and then count for it suitably. So RWC has got a variety through our HoldRite brand. We offer over 166 engineered restraints for cast iron pipe. These are designed and tested to restrain up to 50 feet head of water. Typically, this is 5 times that the normal design offers. Now, this is, as I said, is mainly for cast iron applications. Just to show you an example how the restraints look once they're installed, what we can also do for some of our customers, if requested, is go on job sites and then look at the installation and issue a letter that you see on the right-hand side, which tells basically that the contractor has installed based on our specifications. So we do this, we do the job site inspections totally free of cost.
Sorry, Manan, while we're on this, so what was the head that MJ coupling is rated for?
Oh, sorry. Typically,
the
good question, Mo. Sorry, I missed that. I should have mentioned. Typically, the MJ couplings are rated to 10 feet head of water. So with the HoldRite restraints, you can take the system to a 50 feet of head, which can take care of majority of the issues that you see in the field. Thank you. Now, one thing that I came to know at a very late stage in the game is the PVC connections could also be in MJ. I didn't know that for a long time. So a large customer of ours came to us and said, "Oh, Manan, can you offer the restraints for PVC piping, especially for system 15 and system XFR? These are two very popular pipes manufactured by Apex that's used for DWE application." And that threw us off for a bit, because for years we have catered to providing solutions for cast iron pipe. And this was the first time a couple of years back that a customer came to us for PVC. So we quickly designed the systems for PVC pipe. Now, just so you know, traditionally the PVC pipe is cemented, right? It's glued. But as the pipe size goes bigger, it becomes very difficult. It's easier, well, I should say it's easier to just secure it using MJ gray coupling. So these are different MJ couplings from the traditional MJ that you see on cast iron. These are called MJ gray couplings. I should also mention that traditionally the MJ can take 10 feet of water head, but there are some that could go higher. And I've been told by some of the manufacturers that the testing is ongoing. But the RWC system, in any case, whether it's for cast iron or PVC, has been tested. We have test data. It's an engineered system that is signed off by professional engineers, and we could provide the data for you. So it gives you a lot of peace of mind when you have this system. Now, ATS has got lots of technical information on the spec tool. What I thought, I'll just leave you with some general spec for your master spec that you can cut and paste. I should have mentioned, I think Mo mentioned that this presentation is being recorded. We will also be happy to give you a copy of these slides. If you prefer that, you can just shoot an email to Mo or the ATS team, and they'll be happy to provide you with a PDF copy. All right, let's move on to the next area, plumbing acoustic isolation. So the code, the NVC 2020, only addresses airborne noise, and even the previous versions did the same thing. The protection from plumbing noise is completely, again, left to the design engineers. The best way to address this is to minimize noise and vibration transfer right at piping stack. Now, one thing you have to be careful, if you ignore the noise that is being generated by the piping system, it is so very difficult at a later stage to come back and fix it. So that's why we say that it's the best way is to tackle it right in the beginning, to take provisions to minimize noise and vibration at the piping stacks and risers using isolators that are designed for acoustic applications. Now, again, I can't stress enough, it is crucial to do this right at the construction stage, because sometimes retrofit might not be possible or viable. Some of the solutions that we provide, and I'm going to give you some examples, but if you have to just do one out of the many, because sometimes the owner might say, oh, you know what? We'll look at it later. We don't have this in the budget. But as we know, we are living, like I'm based out of Toronto, but provinces like Ontario, BC, where, the land is scarce, housing is becoming, the apartments are becoming smaller and smaller. You don't want your next level neighbor to know exactly at what time you go to the washroom, right? You don't want that. So later on, you've seen, especially from California, there have been so many lawsuits, when people have invested millions of dollars in the dwellings, and they're subjected to this noise coming from piping. There have been some lawsuits, and I've seen a lot of developers asking, especially in the GTA area, and this is an example from GTA area that we did. So I was saying, out of the 4 or 5 examples I'm going to show you, if there's one area that you want to address in your designs, it's the riser clamps. You will be amazed how much difference it makes just by putting acoustic isolation pads. And this is important, not just any isolation pads, but acoustic isolation pads, which are ideal for this application. Some other applications you will see here that I'm showing you, and again, you can look at the details at your leisure. So those are the touch points. As long as you take care of those touch points, you're good. And you will see the applications that I'm showing, it's nearly impossible to go back at a later stage when the building is up and do those retrofits. Now, RWC can supply independently tested lab data. On request, you have to request us, and we'll be happy to help you, with the right language, right application, and right product. Again, I'm giving you some general engineering spec that you can put in your general spec or master spec. But for details on projects, I would recommend you go to ATS Spec Tool and involve us so that we can help you, assist you with the right choice. Then comes, I have 2 more items to cover. The most important of all is this one, flow penetrations in fire separations and fire-rated assemblies. There are so many questions coming in from the field, from the engineers. Can we do this? Can we not do that? The engineer has rejected the fire stopping solution that we have put on. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here. So 2 examples that I wanted to show right away that I get tons of questions, especially from GTA in Ontario and from the BC market. So if you look at the installation on the left, this is a building in Toronto where you have the cast iron pipe. This contractor has used acoustic isolation pads at the bottom, which is a great thing to do. And then you see something, I don't know if anyone has seen something like this before. These are nothing but the HoldRite testes. Now, the HoldRite testes are made out of PVC. So the first question is, oh, this is cast iron. This is cast iron pipe. You have the standard MJ couplings. Will the PVC work, especially in high buildings, the fire-rated buildings? And the answer is yes. The model codes allow this similar material, and we'll see some of the language. Oh, I see there is a question here.
Yes.
Yeah, so there is a good, thank you, Augustus, for the question. The question is, the sound isolation strategies you showed help reduce structural sound transmission. What strategies do you have to mitigate direct? So great question, but we specialize in the structure, in reducing the structural sound that's it. Yeah, so we help with the structural sound, not the one that is airborne that is left to acoustical engineers, and there are so many of them in the market. There are very few dealing with the structural sound. And since it is not there in the code, I thought I'll bring that up. So I'm really sorry I can't help you with your answer on the on direct sound isolation. All right, so coming back to this, so the code does allow dissimilar material, and we'll look at some of the verbiage in the code. The second question that I come from the field, and I've presented at so many associations, and this somehow makes its way up. And as I said in the beginning of a presentation, the two very common, especially in high buildings, when I say high building, the fire-rated buildings, the two type of piping materials commonly used is cast iron, which is generally, also termed as non-combustible piping, with PVC, which is still treated as, which is not treated, but it is a combustible pipe. So you see in this design, the engineer used cast iron pipe for one part of the dwelling, and when it's being transitioned, it transitioned into a combustible DWE pipe. And I think this area is mainly the garage portion, the parquet down below here. One thing very important, and we'll spend a little bit of time, is this area that is highlighted. You have to be very conversant with Article 3.1.9.1, which talks about fire stopping. So anything that is penetrating through a rated slab needs to be fire stopped. And this is where it becomes a bit tricky. Before I get into the details, one thing I would highly recommend the engineers, if you're providing such a schematic in your, such a detail in your drawings, make sure, because this is very specialized, you're looking at two different dissimilar material, make sure that there are listings from fire stop manufacturers such as HoldRite and some of our competition available in the market. Normally, when we go out and list our systems, UL tests to a configuration. That means they look at the pipe material, pipe size, slab, what are the conditions, what are the ratings of the slab required. And then very important, and this is, I see this being missed many times. I shouldn't say always, but many times, because some engineers pay a lot of attention giving, I don't know if you can see my cursor here, where there is this coupling, the distance from the coupling to the slab. That is very important, because when we are testing our systems, some of the systems require a little bit of the length of the pipe to be left before it can be secured. So that is very important. So if you don't leave any space, then the inspector can come in and object. And sometimes you will see there are wrappings around the pipe, which, if you turn this pipe right away into horizontal, you might not be able to get all the details that are required in the fire stop to give you that rating for that penetration. So very important, if you have dissimilar material, make sure you also talk to a fire specialists such as HoldRite. HoldRite is a RWC brand. Hilti is another very reputed company out there, well known in the market. So talk to us and we'll be able to help you out with the details, and then you can finalize your drawings. All right, so let's jump into code, and this becomes a bit dry, guys. So it's not my work, so please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just bringing some highlights from the NPC 2020. They have completely expanded this section, it's a huge change from 2015. Great news is they have clarified a lot of open or unknown areas that existed in the previous versions. So please, there are 2 articles, that I'm going to focus on here that you need to review. So dissimilar materials are allowed, but they shall be designed, so you need to know Article 2.3.3.6 talks about dissimilar materials. You only have to make sure that the mechanical joints are capable to join those dissimilar materials. Then comes a big area called combustible piping materials, and Article 3.1.5.19 in the code addresses this. You should review all the sentences under this article. So I had a little argument with an inspector who said, no, in a fire-rated building, we cannot use combustible piping or fittings. The code allows it. It's very crystal clear that combustible piping material can be used, provided it has the flame spread rating and smoke developed classification, known as 2550. So it can be used. And that's why, you see, especially in the GTA, Greater Toronto area in Ontario, I have not seen a building which is completely in one piping material. You have a combination of at least two. The other article that you need to be very, very familiar with regards to fire stopping is 3.1.9.9. So this is, let me go back quickly here. So this section here, so especially if you are involved in fire stopping, you need to just don't say fire stop as per the code, because all the many provinces are adopting the NPC and BC in its entirety. Many have got variations, deviations to, so it is always better to reference the code as well as your specific requirements. So please review 3.1.9.1. The second area that you need to address is 3.1.9.4, which talk about combustible piping penetrations. One thing that you need to keep in mind, a huge difference between the use of non-combustible pipe and combustible pipe. With combustible piping, the code requires 50 PA differential between the exposed and unexposed side. So that's why you see in that little drawing that I showed you that was mentioned. So that detail you need to be aware of and put that in your drawing. One big change from the previous 2015 code is sentence 3.1.9.4.8. It's very clear now. It talks about transitions between vertical, non-combustible drain, waste, and vent pipe and combustible branches, that they are allowed. It's very clear in black and white. I'll let you at your leisure read all these sentences. If you have any questions, by all means, at the end of the presentation, I'll give you my contact information. You can reach out to me. So RWC, so that is background information that what you need to keep in mind when you're designing a system using multiple piping. Now, RWC provides a complete solution, both for your traditional type of fire stopping as well as engineered fire stopping. So what is traditional fire stopping? Normally what the contractors do, they install a tin can on your wooden slab before the concrete is poured. Once the tin can is done, then the concrete is poured. Once the concrete is poured, the pipe is pushed through a mineral wool based on the listed system that is being used. The mineral wool is put in, and then the sealant is applied from the top. In some cases, you may have to apply from the bottom. Now, the only problem here is, in the traditional style, there are two major problems encountered. One is some contractors might just leave the tin can as is in the system because, knocking the tin can off, as you see from the second picture, is a humongous job. People normally, some of the contractors tell me when they announce that the tin cans are going to be knocked off, many people next day call in sick. So tin can cannot be left in. Whether you like it or not, it has to be removed. If the listed system does not include tin can, you cannot leave it in. If you leave it in, God forbid, if there is fire or any problem, the manufacturer will raise their hands up saying, sorry, the system was violated because the contractor didn't use what was mentioned in the, and unfortunately, I've also seen some of the engineers leaving the tin can in their drawings, which is quite dangerous because now you're transferring the liability to yourself. You just need one incident and you will see what I mean. The second area with the second problem with the traditional fire stopping is operator error, the installer error. This mineral wool has to be exactly as per the specifications mentioned in the UL system. What is the density? What is the height? What manufacturer? So that, and how do you control that? Because it's all being manually packed. Also, many a times I've seen, especially the newbies installers, they use the wrong sealant. See, for example, RWC has got, in their HoldRite brand, the HydroFlame Pro 100, 200. These are different solutions for different systems. For example, cast iron pipe, you don't need so much of intumescent. So we recommend, okay, go and use these sealants. Plastic, on the other hand, or combustible piping will need a lot more intumescent. So then one type of the sealant might not be applicable anymore. The second one is. So there is a danger that installer might use the wrong sealant. And regardless of what happens here, if there is a problem, guess who gets the finger pointing? It's always the engineer. So please just don't take this area lightly, do justice. And there are manufacturers like us who are willing to support. ATS is willing to support, and there's no cost involved. Our services are completely free of charge. So to eliminate the operator error, what we have done, we introduced the complete solution, which includes the sleeve. The sleeve has got a built-in intumescent. It also has a built-in rubber seal. It serves two functions. One is, first and foremost, it prevents the smoke from passing through. Also, we are the only company that has a W-rated seal, which means any water that's coming in during construction will not pass through it. Now, some of our competition also offers this solution, but it's an add-on. But for the HoldRite complete HydroFlame Pro solution, this is all built in. So the advantage is you install the sleeve as you would do for the tin can on the wooden deck, pour the concrete. Once the concrete is poured, the whiskers will tell you where the sleeve is. So it really helps the contractor save the time. You pull this whiskers off, remove the cap. Now you will see the threads are inside. So regardless if the concrete is also poured a little bit over on the cap, no problem. You can still unscrew it. Unlike some of our competition, this one goes on the outside. And in that case, the only way you can remove the cap is to break it from below. In our case, you don't have to do that. Once the cap is removed, now you push the pipe in from below and you're done. You don't need any mineral wool. You don't need any caulking because this is a complete system in itself.
Hi, Miran. Can you expand on the ratings for the hydroflame pro systems?
Um, when you say ratings,
So does it have like the 50 PA ratings or?
great question, Mo. Thank you. Yes, so for plastic in Canada, you do need the 50 PA requirement. In the US, it's only 2.5. So great question, Mo. Thank you. Our complete solution does have the 50 PA for combustible piping. And this is such a great question. Thank you. Many engineers, when they are looking at a listed system, once the contractor submits it in form of a shop drawing, not many engineers go through the details. They say, oh yeah, the contractor has done a great job. The specifications are all there, and they move on. But what is important, I've seen personally, some of the manufacturers when they help the contractor or the contractor pulls the information on their own, they submit with 2.5 PA. That does not apply for the Canadian market. So you have to make sure if plastic pipe is being used, you need the 50 PA differential for the Canadian applications. So great question. Thank you. Now, in cases, not all applications, there might be a listed system. So in those cases, the manufacturers such as HoldRite like us will be happy to do engineering judgments. We also do VIP estimating. And then here is another example of an installation and some general engineering spec for your master spec. Last topic, and then I'll hand over to Mo for the demo, is testing of drainage or venting systems. So if you look at the code, oh my goodness, this is the code does so much of justice on the testing of drainage or venting systems. Articles 2.3.6.1 all the way to 2.3.6.7 cover the various types of tests when the piping has to be tested in detail. So problem though is, so the system can be tested with water or with air. The problem though is although the code is saying you have to test the pipe and these are the pressures you need to use, this is the media, they don't tell you the method of testing. And this is where the problem comes in. And based on several visits that we had on site, we came up with an engineered solution that eliminated the problems that are generally seen in the field. So we'll talk about the problems in a minute, but I wanted to introduce our TestRite testee from HoldRite, one of our very well-known brands. So this is how it looks. We have systems for PVC pipe, ABS, and no-hub cast iron. So once the testing is done, you can leave the system as is without removing. It's rated up to 50 feet head pressure, 22 psi, 5 floors, and that way the integrity of the entire piping system is protected. So how are the contractors currently testing? They use the ball, which is a very, very popular method for years that they have used. Many contractors have crude devices like what you see here. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. So they use this. Once the testing is done, they remove the system, these two devices, and put the pipe back. So what they're doing, they cut a piece of cast iron, remove it, put the homemade device there, go up all the way, climb up to the stack, pour water there, show the inspector that there are no leakages. Once the testing is done, they remove this device and they put the cast iron pipe back and secure it with MJ clamps. The problem though is nobody has tested these two connections and they're prone to leaking. So thousands of this connection, say if you're looking at a 60-story building or an 80-story building, thousands of these connections go untested that is a problem. Again, if there is a leakage at a later stage, the engineers will get the blame for it. So with our HoldRite test-write system, what happens is you see there is a little provision here for mounting your hose, your normal hose. You know, the water is pumped in. It can take up to 50 feet of head. But normally you would not do so much because unfortunately the MJs can only take, a majority of them can only take up to 10 feet. So whatever the contractor and the engineer is comfortable, pump to that level, close the knob here so that the testing can be done. Once the testing is done, inspector is satisfied, you open this little knob here so that the water will run back to the reservoir. So there is no spilling, nothing. Once the water is drained, close this, remove the test plug and put in the normal plug that comes with the device and close it. That's it. The system is designed, certified to remain in the building without removal. It has a 2R rating and listed. It's a listed system with UL. It also has the smoke and flame spread rating, the S102.2, which means you can basically use this as a clean out also or run it through the shack. No problem at all. And then I'm leaving a little bit of spec for you to put it in your master spec. So basically that all I had. I just wanted to finish up before I give it to Mohammed that, guys, although our focus while designing a building is how it looks, you know, in the fixtures and stuff like that, but plumbing does matter, you know, and we at RWC make it better. We have been, we have a huge history of over 70 years of bringing innovative products to the market. That's all we do. That's our forte. We bring in engineered solutions. Very few of our products are just Me Too products, maybe the PEX pipe, but everything else is engineered to make lives easy. Those are my contact details. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. I know sometimes people are a bit hesitant when you have a large group like this to ask questions. I've given my email address. Everybody knows Mo, everybody knows Zach and the team at ATS. So feel free to send your questions. Mo, back to you.
Thank you, Manan. Appreciate it. As Manan mentioned, we'll be following up with the presentation and a recording of the training as well. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me or to your account manager. What I wanted to do now is just give you a quick demo of the spec tool and show you some of the products that Manan discussed today to show you how you can specify them as part of your project, and also how to create a master, and you can copy those fixtures over to your projects every time you have a new one, basically. So I'm going to share my screen here quickly. All right. So this is your dashboard basically for the ATS spec tool. What we have here is the project folder where you can create new projects, your master folder where you can create your new masters and then specifications. And I'm gonna go into the difference between project and specifications. Also over here, this is where you will see a list of your projects, specifications, and masters that you have created. So what I wanted to start with first is projects folder. So we'll go with new project, and we will do, for example, we'll give it a name. Now, if you are creating a project yourself, obviously you'll give it a name. If we do it for you, if you contact us and ask us to create a project for you, we'll always ask you for a project name so that we know we can refer back to it. If you log into your account, you can find that spec that we built for you. Next, you're gonna enter the country, the province, and the city. What it does here is actually, or the states, if you're in the US, this will help the system with enabling the building code in general. So if we're adding any fixtures and there's a code that we need to abide by, this is how the system will know which code to use. Bid date, it just helps us with making sure everything you've added is available. If any product is discontinued, we'll go and check the bid dates, make sure anything that's before, if there's still an outstanding project, we'll notify you and let you know. Area, this is going to come into one of the future developments that we're working on, where it's going to be able to help with estimating the size of the project so that we can recommend different fixtures for you. For example, a water heater, an expansion tank. We can determine based on the area, how many bathrooms, how many kitchens are going to be in that building. The next part here is the building type, which also helps with the building code as well, and the fixture recommendations. So for example, if it's an office building, then you can click on it. But let's say, for example, you're working on a condominium and it has retail locations. You can always go with the multi-use option where you can select residential. For example, it's a condominium, and then we have commercial as well. We have retail locations. This way you can select residential fixtures along with commercial fixtures into the same project. Collaborators, if you want to add anyone else to be working on this project with you or to be able to view the fixtures you've selected, you can add their email here. It could be someone from your office, it could be the architect, it could be the owner or the contractor. Anyone you want to give them access to your project, you can add their email here. One thing I'll add here is I always suggest to add this email after you've selected all your fixtures so that when they log in, they can see what you've selected already. Once you finish, it's going to take us to the product page where you are able to select the products you're looking for. You have different ways to search for products. You can search by the product name or the number, or you can search by category. The categories are all listed here. Now, if you notice, some of them have the pin favorite. So if it's something that you use often, you can always pin it. So for example, if I'm looking for restraint, I can find restraint here, but I can also pin it as a favorite so that when I go back into my categories, I'll find restraint here all the way on the top. This is if it's something that I select often. Or I can go to the product search option. Here's the search bar, and I can type in HoldRite, and it will find that product for me as well. So there's multiple ways for you to find your products and add them into your specification. So you can see all the different products here. So for example, if I select the fire stop sleeves with the adjustable cap, it's going to take me into that product, and I can see the futures. It's going to ask me details about it. If I have the pipe size already, I can select it. And if I don't, I can select it as an unsized for now, and I can come back and adjust it later on once I have that future. If you're looking just for something for permits, for example, you can always go with the most popular, or you're not sure. You can always go with the most popular, and the system will auto-select everything for you. Once you've selected your parameters, you can go ahead and add it to your drawing. And this way, the first product basically will be added. Now, I mentioned earlier about the building code engine rule. So depending on the area you're in, when you're selecting products, if you toggle the barrier free or the ADA toggle here, it will make sure everything you select is barrier free compliant in the province or in the city and the building type that you've selected. I can go ahead and complete, and I'll have my first product added basically. Now, I can go back into my, if I go back into my dashboard, I just want to show you something real quick in terms of specifications, so that you can see the main difference between the project folder and the specification. So again, we'll do RWC, we'll do a test spec here. So let's say, for example, I'm looking for a toilet, because this will be easier to see in terms of the barrier-free. What if you notice when I selected the specification, it just asked me to for a name for the spec. It didn't ask me any details. So if I try to toggle the barrier-free option here, it's going to tell me the spec must be associated with a project to enable the building code rules. Because it doesn't know the building type, doesn't know where it's located, it can recommend a barrier-free option. This is why I will say for specifications, use it for when you already know what products you're looking for. If it's one product that the architect is asking for or the owner is asking for, this is an easy way to find a product and find the cut sheet for it and send it over. Also, if you're looking at any product and you want to take a quick look at the manufacturer cut sheet, you can click on View Spec Sheet, and it will go right away into that manufacturer cut sheet for you. So this is an easy way, a quick way to take a sneak peek into all the details about the products you want to specify. Going back, I'll go into masters, and you can. So this is a great way for your office to have different masters. You can create a master based on the building type, or just a drainage master, for example, or we can have a fire stop solutions master. It's the same idea where you create master, you'll give it a name. So RWC master. Again, we'll go by the country and province, city, and again, it's going to ask us for the building type. So the great thing about this also, we can create those masters for you. So if you send us a copy of your master, we will build it for your office. We can have different masters for you based on the different building types that your office specializes in. And also, if you want to have them for plumbing fixtures, mechanical fixtures, you want the fire stop solutions, we can separate those masters for you. Also, if you don't have one already, if I skip the building type, I can find the different templates that we've pre-built for you. So you can select, for example, an office master, and the system will create one for you automatically that you can copy from going forward. Just want to make sure if there's any questions. Let's see here, so no questions so far. Yeah, but if you do have any questions, please let me know. Why it's just loading this office master. It's a huge master, so it's a lot of fixtures. Just give us a quick minute here, and it will load everything for us. There you go. So if I go back into masters, if I go RWC master, then I'll see the different fixtures that were added to this master, for example. So as I said, you can create the master based on the templates that we have, or you can create one yourself, or you can send us your master. We will create it for you. We'll make sure we keep the same labels for you as well. If any product is discontinued, there's any changes, we will go into the system, we'll tag those, we'll send you an email. I'll probably contact you myself, or your account manager will let you know that, hey, you have this product on your master, let's say on your office master, it's been discontinued. This is what the manufacturer is recommending. If you accept the change, we will go ahead and update it for you. And it's really quick and easy to add any fixtures. So for example, if I just select those two products, I can go to copy to. One thing, just need to make sure that you've already created your project. So if I go into type in the project name that I created earlier, so RWC test, is gonna copy those two fixtures onto the project that we've already created. And just like that, you've added all your fixtures to the new project that you've just built. Now I want to go into the download and the different formats that we have available. So if you click on download, it's going to show you all the different formats that we have from your submittals, where you get your cut sheets, your schedule, your long spec. We also do Revit files as well. So for example, if I go to submittals, we also have an option to add pricing. We don't have all pricing available right now, but we're continuously adding more pricing to the tool, basically. But if I do continue, it's gonna put all the fixtures that I've added together so that I can download. While it's preparing this file, I just wanted to show you here that when you're adding fixtures, if you have a quick question and you need help, you can always call your account manager. But you can also use the chat option that we have available here as well, where one of our spec team will be more than happy to assist you finding a fixture, help with sizing, or any questions you may have. If I go back here, I can download, and I will have my basically my cut sheet here, and here's all the details that I have for the fire stop sleeve with the adjustable cap. The pipe size, all the details are included here as well. If I had added the price, the estimated total, the list, we do list pricing, so list price would be available here. Now, if I go back, I just want to show you the written spec lastly here. So if we go to long spec, continue, again, it's going to prepare that file for us. While it's preparing, I just want to show you there's always a request a build. So you can email your account manager, but you can also request a build where it's gonna go and show you this page. You can put in your email, the project name, the estimated bid date, the country, the city, the building type. If are you looking for a specific requirement, and you can let us know the details, or if you send us the floor plan, we can do a full takeoff for you. Let us know what format you're looking for, if it's just a submittal, the long spec, the schedule, if you want the Revit families. As I mentioned earlier, we do that as well. You can attach your floor plan, and then when would you like it back? If it's a small project, we can do it same day. If it's a big project, we can do a 24-hour turnaround. Now, lastly here, just want to download the long spec, and we should have the written spec for the fixtures that we've added to this project, basically. Right, and obviously everything is you can edit it. It's easy for you to copy it over to your spec. With that being said, I think that covers my demo here. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. If you need any help with masters or any project, we'll be more than happy to assist you as well. Let me just go back so that I can see here. Don't see any questions, but I will follow up with everyone as well. We'll send you an email, a follow-up email after this presentation. We'll also send you a recording, and as Manan mentioned, we'll send you the slides as well.
And thank you everyone for joining. Really appreciate the time. Right
on time, right at 1 p.m. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. We appreciate you taking the time to joining us today, and we'll see you at the next seminar. Thank you again, and have a good day.